Finally, finally, it's a Saturday. I can masturbate.
I mean, for some people, that's all they get. Sometimes they're busy. They work 2, 3 jobs.
I
We're
started the stream with
millennials,
that, by the
remember?
way.
Can't see what the fuck is going on my screen. Too many lights on. Hang on, let me shut a couple of these off. All right, so we're here. We're doing the stream. We're a little late. I overslept, but we're still doing it.
Yeah, he was, now he's energetic.
Yeah, I've got the energy. I've got the stuff.
Yeah, if the other two want to join us, that's fine. It's just gonna be a 2S for now, I guess, because Drew
That's all right.
is gay.
Yeah, he's gay for the same.
That's why he can't be.
Yeah.
So we got a new banner.
I gotta check the banner out. It's tradition at this point.
Yeah.
Fuck. Dip my full screen.
The font I'm using is Tecton Pro Bold.
Tecton Pro Bowl. That sounds like a good one, honestly. Let's see what we got here. Subscribers, where is it? I am a motherfucker.
I am a motherfucker.
That's pretty fucking great.
Yeah.
Pretty great. Gotta say, these get better every week. These get better.
I try to
week.
find them. I try my best.
That's okay. Improvement is always the important thing. Speaking of improvement, I hit 50 subscribers today. I'm quite excited. Good milestone.
Nice. I finally got past 570.
Nice. You're finally up over that marker.
I was always in 560.
It's just sitting there. It's like, we're gonna be at 560. We're just gonna sit here for a little bit. We'll keep going later. I'm tired. I'm just gonna stay here. For
the
now.
only reason I got past 570 is because I played Doki Doki Literature Club.
I mean, that does bring the people in. The people like that game. Am I being attacked by something? No, I guess not. Okay. Stark music change. Either way.
So we can start the show with that. Over the last week, I played Doki Doki Literature Club, and
I figured you might like it, honestly. Did you?
I do.
Or
I
no?
do. I really do. It's a really good visual novel. I just couldn't play it by myself. Like if I was gonna play it, I would need someone with me.
Like to show you what to do, or to just have
just
someone else around?
Just to have someone to comfort me.
Oh.
'Cause damn.
Yeah, that game gets pretty real pretty fast, and it doesn't really give you a single warning about it, and then shit just happens.
Thing is, we're probably gonna talk about spoilers, so if you guys don't want to be spoiled on it.
Yeah, if you don't want to be spoiled, just skip like 20 minutes ahead ish,
Yeah.
and then if it sounds like we're still talking about it, just keep skipping until we're done.
So, you said you didn't even get to the end of Act 1.
I couldn't for reasons other than just how like the pacing didn't feel good to me, but other than that, it was.
So,
like,
do you know what happens?
Yeah, I just went through. I was like, I know I'm not gonna finish this, and I don't feel bad about looking it up. So I went through and looked it up, and I was glad I did, because it's a game that I would have never actually gotten to the end of, and I would have just been upset because.
Oh yeah,
I would have.
I know that.
Been like,
knowing
what
you,
the fuck do I do now?
Knowing you wouldn't.
I would have never some of the stuff you have to do in that game to actually see what happens. I would have never figured out because I don't know how that stuff works. And if you would have had to look this up. Like, how would you ever know to do what you have to do?
All right, so for those of you who don't know, Doki Doki Literature Club is a visual novel that disguises itself as a dating sim, a very cutesy, adorable dating sim. And
it's not.
we're getting to it. And you go through it, and you for me it was just 2 hours, 2 hours of straight up dating sim. And you do cute stuff. Accidentally over this cute girl doing something sexy. Then boom!
Boom.
You find one of the girls hanging in a room.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's the most abrupt change of tone that a game has ever had, ever.
Yeah, because we're just gonna go. We're about a 2. We're just gonna go right to 37. How's that feel?
Listen,
how's that feel?
we're working on a 10 scale, but we're just gonna go all the way up to 20.
Yeah. We're just gonna blow right out of that 12, right out of that 10, right up. We're gonna keep going. We'll see what
And
ends.
when I found the girl hanging, I was just like, it was the girl. I was like, yeah, this one's gonna be the one I like. Thing is, here's the thing. I knew it was gonna happen. I knew she was going. I accidentally spoiled myself on like some jump scares, and I knew that was one of the jump scares.
Wow. Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be that abrupt.
Yeah, you'd think, oh, that's gonna happen.
It's literally in the no. It's like, I gently open the door. Say, oh, she's hanging. Like they do it in the middle of a text box. They interrupt a text box to show you that, hey, this girl who's your best friend and you like because she's so cute and friendly. Guess what? She's dead.
Hey, by the way, she dies.
I was just like, just how abrupt it is got me. And I think, and that night, I looked up the rest of the game, spoiled myself on it, and uninstalled it.
I'm done.
I think it was a multitude of things. First of all, yeah, how abrupt it was, but that's a little bit. Second, I think one of the biggest reasons I just stopped playing was that one thing about horror games that I like about is that I can pause the game, and that's it. Nothing will be there to attack me anymore because time has stopped and I'm safe now.
Mm-hmm.
You can't trust Doki Doki Literature Club to stay safe in the fucking menu.
Nope.
And I saw that because I was like, okay, I'm just gonna quit out, and the quit out thing was glitched. Luckily, I was able to quit out, but so it turns out, like, after that bit where you find her hanging, it's just like, this has gotta be a nightmare. I could have done something, could have gone back and, like, fixed it. And then it ends. It literally has, like, it literally goes to black and says, end.
Yep, game's over.
And I would say the best way, if you don't want to play it yourself, to experience this game is just watch Game Grumps play it.
Yeah.
Because it is literally, you will be with Dan
the whole time.
And you know it's gonna happen. He doesn't.
Yep.
Oh my god, is this a horror game? I don't know, Dan.
A horror game?
But I think it's like, because of that, I wasn't really in a great place. I don't think my mind was in a great mental state that day. And I just felt I had to play it out of obligation because I said I was going to play it that day.
Right.
And I think that might have been just a big mistake. Because
you made a mistake.
For the most part, people would just feel uncomfortable in that. I felt threatened.
It's actually a little scared. Like, there's something's gonna come out and get me here. This is about to be it.
And honestly, I don't know if I'm glad I did that bit. But looking at the rest of the game, I just love what they do. I love how it's done.
The way they do it is it's done really cool, and there's not many games that do it.
Basically, the story is that one of the girls, Monica, knows, like, apparently her being in the president of the literature club makes her able to mess with the game's code.
Yes, she is become God, apparently.
And you could probably already figure that out by her poem, because she has a poem that's like the lady who knows everything. And I love how good at foreshadowing it was, and how she's like, you really left her hanging, didn't you?
Right.
Fucking cunt. And so basically, it's going through each girl, and each girl just dies because Monica wants to be with you, and you just keep picking the other ones. Except for Natsuki. She doesn't exactly die, she just gets straight up deleted.
Well, what if you want to be with her?
That's the thing I want to know, and it probably doesn't. Well, the thing is that the game doesn't allow you to be with her. That was what it originally was thought to be, was that this is a game where you can only pick those.
That's really how that works, because the worst part is when for the little bit I got through before I looked up and really looked at how the game went, because I just kind of I got bored with it was what happened. Like, I'm not good with visual novel games, so it was more so I just lost interest in it, and it was like I'm not feeling it. Like I tried really hard, and like I'm not enjoying this myself personally. So I stopped just to see how the game went, and I was kind of disappointed with, like, this is how it goes. Like, the one I liked was the bad guy. Oh, okay.
Hold on, I'm gonna just check the audio for a minute.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, I'm gonna just check the audio. Okay, we're good.
Oh yeah, but no, I the one I liked was Monica, and was like, oh,
I thought I was
oh.
gonna like Monica.
Well,
But
see,
then I ended up liking Sayori so much more.
It was weird, but like Sayori was like, okay, you're clingy and you seem to hate yourself. I don't really like you. And then the other one was like, okay, the purple haired one was like, okay, you're just really quiet and awkward.
But maybe there's a reason why she's so clingy, because of depression.
And then I'm like, okay, the little red haired one is like, all right, you look like jailbait, so no. I just out of obligation, the FBI will be knocking my door.
And it's implied that it's implied that the reason that she is so small is because she's malnourished. Because her father's abusive.
Oh. Okay.
And you find that out because after Act 1, in Act 2, when you're like with her, in that one CG where you're like looking over her, looking at manga, she's like, she glitches out and all of a sudden says, "My father would beat the shit out of me if she found out I had this."
Well then, that went from 0 to 11 really quick.
And her eyes like start glitching out and becoming like black squares. They get covered up with black squares, and so does her mouth.
Oh.
The thing is, another thing that freaks me out is that this game does things with eyes I don't like games doing with eyes.
Yeah, I've seen a couple screenshots that I'm just not okay with.
Have you seen Yuri? Have you seen what Yuri did?
Yeah, it's
if you guys don't know, Yuri is basically the yandere of the group.
Yeah.
And she's a shy type, but like in Act 2, she starts to become like Monica amplifies her obsessiveness, and it got her to the point where basically she just wants to look at you sometimes. And when she's like, "Let me just stare at you for a little bit," and her eyes, and she zooms in, and her eyes are suddenly real human eyes. And they're just looking at you, just looking all around.
That part I didn't know about, but that's not okay. That's so many levels of not okay.
That's the point, first of all, but yeah.
But I think that's the point. But no, please, no. That's just, I don't want that. I don't want this.
And there's points where she's just like, whereas Natsuki's running away, she's like, "I really don't like that obnoxious brat." And like it zooms in on her eye, and her eyes just, it's not the realistic human eye, but it's like the eye where it's not cutesy anime, but it's more just like an iris and the pupil. It's her crazy eyes.
Yeah.
And then another thing she says is like, maybe it'd be better if she just killed herself.
That's ominous foreshadowing.
Another thing that happens, like before it gets to that part of Yuri, she goes like, "You ever considered killing yourself? It's really good for your mental health," to Monica. And then what I consider to be the most disturbing part of the game is where
as if the rest of it so far isn't.
No, she stabs herself in front of you.
Oh.
2 times in the stomach, 1 time in the heart. And then you just sit there, and then you just lay there. Then you just lay there by her corpse for a whole weekend.
Oh.
And watch. And like the thing is, the whole time you have to keep clicking because like words are coming out, but they're not exactly words. They're like just garble.
Oh.
And it does that for like so long. Like, and then eventually the place starts changing color because that's indicating that, oh, time is passing. And you slowly get to see the life drain out of her eyes. So that is, in my opinion, the most disturbing part of the game. Not the part where Natsuki snaps her neck and goes past the text box towards you. That's just scary.
Yeah. Whoever made this game would give Stephen King a run for his money.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, comparably, I think what makes this so messed up is that it's just that it's juxtaposed with the cutesy look. If it was anything else, it would be like, oh, that's fine, that's normal.
Oh, I see this. Like, if it was Amnesia style...
Like, these things are rather tame compared to other things I've seen. But the way they present it to you, the way they are able to just fuck you up with, like, these anime girls doing this fucked up shit, it's just, like, amazing. And then there's Monica. And basically what she does is she finally just puts you in a room with her and just stays there with you. And eventually, she'll talk about other things. One of the things she talks about is how Sayori struggled when she tried to struggle against her being hanged, because she hanged herself, but eventually, I guess some survival instinct kicked in, and she tried to claw at it. That's why, if you look closely, you see that Sayori's hands are bloody, and
that's not normal.
And her shirt is opened a bit. Another thing about that is that at one point, just at one random point in the game, there's actually a random percentage chance that this happens. In the background of the classroom where you have the literature club, there might be just a picture of Sayori hanging.
Oh, that's weird.
And then there's also one point where the room starts to tilt.
Oh.
And it's just like the things they do.
Huh.
And there's like a random percent chance that after you read a poem by Natsuki, her eyes will pop out of her head, out of her sockets.
Oh. That's weird.
And the cool part comes because basically Monika just basically deleted all the characters except herself. And she's like, okay, two things can happen depending on what you're doing. If you're streaming, she'll jump scare you.
Huh.
But if you're
funny.
not, she will say your real name. She's like, it's like, Free-kun, or should I say Andrew?
Well, how does that work?
She looks at, I guess it looks at the files, like what you named your account.
Oh, so it just kind of, then it would probably still say Specifier then, because that's what I actually named the computer.
Yeah, or it might, I don't know what, but for me it would be, or should I say Andrew Botino?
Huh.
And
wait, the three of us are all Andrew? That's really funny.
Wait, your name's Andrew?
Yes.
We should just call us the Andrew Show then. Fuck sakes, man.
Right? I didn't know that until just now, but Drew's name is Andrew. I'm Andrew, that's why they call me Specs, and you're also apparently Andrew.
Yeah.
Huh. Small world.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Yeah, and she talks about other things, and then so you just sit there and you do that, and it's up to you to go into the files, go to the character file, and delete her. And once that happens, she go like, "What the fuck did you do? I can't believe you did that. I trusted you." It's like, bitch, calm down.
Relax.
But then eventually, I think this is when her programming gets deleted. She basically just starts to apologize for everything she's done, because it's not her personality that did it. It was the programming. Her programming to want the character to fall in love with her.
Oh.
And it's kind of sad when you think about it. But other than that, she also did just delete her friends. Don't you just hate when you delete your friends?
Yeah.
That's what happened to Drew. That's what happened to Drew, by the way.
Yeah, I play snipers and first-person shooters, so I delete people pretty often.
I
don't mean to. It's just that.
And then apparently the game doesn't end there, because she brings back all three other characters and says like, just have fun, just go do it. And then it goes along as normal until you get to a certain part, and then Sayori's like, now that I'm the president, I know everything now. And we're just gonna have so much fun together forever and ever. And then it quickly glitches back to that room that you were in Monika with. That you were with Monika in.
Bitch,
and then Monika's just like, wait, no, stop that. Don't do that. And she just basically cuts out the game, basically, and just sends you to credits.
Oh.
But there's actually a fulfilling ending, which some would call a good ending, where if you were to go back, like load your saves, and go back and try out every girl's option and see every CG with her before Sayori's death, it'll eventually switch out to an ending where Sayori's like, I understand I shouldn't be doing the things that Monika did, and I won't, and I know that you have to go, so I guess have a good life.
And that's it? That just ends?
Yep.
Oh.
But it's just all the other kinds of like meta shit that can happen. Like, if you were to delete either Monika's or Sayori's file before the death, and if you were to go into the game, Sayori will just suddenly appear and go, "It hurts!" And then it will cut out of the game. Then if you go back in, it will just be a screen of Sayori hanging. And if you wait 10 minutes, like out of the background will fade in saying, "Everyone's happy now." So, yeah, and there's a percent chance that after Act 2, the main menu will become like the scary thing where all the girls have like no eyes and it's black and white.
Oh.
This is like, damn, dude, what can like this game just
fucking meta apparently.
I love it. But yeah, I just couldn't play it anymore. So I would say it's best to play it with either someone or just watch someone play it. And I would say it's best to watch Game Grumps play it because they have like the best reaction. Even Aaron gets scared at one point.
He doesn't usually get scared of anything.
Well, he knew what was going to happen, and so
right.
But once you get to the point where like before the just Monica come in, it just says like and just has the options that 20 options that each say Monica. He got scared at that point because behind it is like these two realistic eyes in a white background.
Oh.
It's just ugh. Anyway, that's Doki Doki Literature Club, and it's fucked up. And I would say, what I like about it, or at least it kind of inspired me to do something with my streams now. And now I'm going to be streaming visual novels that are unique or interesting. Because they get a bad rap.
Right, they're supposed to, like, everyone seems to make them out to be like, oh, they're just like the weird like moe bullshit you want to date anime women stuff, and it's like they're not all like that. So there are people who write them like Stephen King bullshit.
What I'm playing is called if you're Katawa Shoujo.
I've seen you playing it, but I haven't actually heard of it before.
It's basically it is a dating sim, but all of the girls have disabilities.
Oh, that's
so like there's one without legs. There's one without that was born without arms. There's one that's deaf. One's blind.
Okay, I'm gonna go on a limb here and say it's probably a bad joke. Is the one without legs called Rain Man?
No, her name's Emmy. And she's a really good runner. Because she has prosthetic legs.
Oh, still, that's a missed opportunity.
Shut up.
Come on, tell me. You can't even tell me Rain Man by Eminem isn't fucking hilarious.
That's just really bad, man. And yeah, it's just kind of, yeah, sure, it is a dating sim and sexual stuff does happen, but it's basically just a message of like, even though these people have different things with them, they're still, just regular human beings. And your character himself has like a disability. He has arrhythmia.
What's that?
Basically, when sometimes your heart might beat really fast or too slow, and the muscle tissue in your heart is weak. And so he can't do anything too extraneous.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So. And I'm looking into like murder mysteries. One visual novel that looks really cool is one called Steins Gate. That's a very well-known one.
Yeah, that I've heard of it.
That one's about like time travel and all that. And Danganronpa.
I've heard of that one too.
Yeah. And I also just want to find, obscure ones that are unique, but people just never heard of. So that's, I think it was nice that I was able to find good visual novels that aren't just, hey, cute girls, Sakura spirit, boobies.
I mean, it's still okay to play those games though.
Yeah, it's fine.
But there are just other things to play as well.
Yeah. Like, I would call myself a hopeless romantic. I do like romance. So I would say that
there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of my friends are like that.
Oh yeah, another thing. Happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You are now 54.
Yes, I'm also funnier than I'm funnier than 24.
Don't you mean 53?
Or 53, whatever. whatever you decide that actually is.
Hey David. That was a long time ago.
A viewer.
Yeah, viewer, but that was a long time ago. He's no longer watching. Hey.
Oh.
But yeah, so also one thing I didn't get to talk about with Drew last time because I think it would be better just here is Stephen Hawking passed away.
Yeah, I heard about that. I mean, he was also very old and
he was like 79, and like he was very old for the condition he had.
Yeah, the fact that he lived as long as he did was impressive.
And did so much.
Yeah, and still was able to completely rewrite how we envision our own reality.
Because keep in mind, he got his condition back when he was really young, and he said he was told he was given 2 years to live.
Yeah, he ended up making that into what, like 40?
40, 59, I don't know.
A lot.
A lot. Too much, like way past
He
2.
lived a lot longer than he was supposed to.
Yeah. And he's just like a guy who doesn't let his condition get past him, and he even like rolls over the feet of people he doesn't exactly like.
Yeah. And then literally goes, hey, you know how you guys think reality works? I'm gonna show you that I understand how reality works a lot fucking better than everybody else.
I am a motherfucker.
Yes. That's exactly what he said. They told him you only have 2 years to live, and he looked the doctor dead in the face and said, I am a motherfucker, and then proceeded to just change everyone's perception of reality.
Yeah.
Because that's how Stephen Hawking works. He died like he lived. A badass.
Anyway, another big thing I wanted to talk about was Count Dankula.
Now, if I read it right from what I looked up, he was charged federally in Scotland for teaching his dog
to do the Nazi salute.
To fuck with his girlfriend and then post it on YouTube. And I'm confused because I'm curious as to how that becomes a federal offense.
Because in the video he was he was making his pug salute to like gas the Jews and all that. But the thing is, that whole video is just a rip on Nazis.
Yeah, like it sounds like you're making fun of Nazis.
In the beginning, he says like, "My girlfriend says my pug is that the pug is cute. He's the cutest thing ever. So I'm gonna make him into the least cute thing ever, which is a Nazi."
Yeah, I mean, like it seemed like from the whole premise, he was trying to make fun of Nazis the entire time.
Yeah.
So I fail to see how it even quantifies as hate speech.
Well, welcome to England or Scotland.
Yeah, like I'm confused. I didn't understand the whole story.
Where you saying "fuck Muslims" on the internet is much more offensive than little girls getting raped and killed in the streets.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm confused. There's parts of the world currently and things happening that just don't make sense to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's like, I guess people could say, oh, you lived a sheltered life. And like, well, maybe. I didn't go out much. But I also was not, I was raised to take a joke and know when things are being taken seriously and when they're not. So yeah. That might just be me.
Drew's input is that he thinks he should receive punishment, but not exactly federal courts. And like, Drew says, like, yeah, ban his YouTube account and give him an IP ban. I think that's a bit harsh.
That seems over the top.
Because that means we also have to do the same to PewDiePie and like all the other people. And even the people who are more on the left who like say violent things about people that are mean. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you have to go both ways on it then, and that isn't something that can actually be reasonably enforced.
Like
on top of that, like, and honestly, from like, it sounds almost like Drew's argument on it is only looking at that he taught the dog Nazi salutes and to respond to Nazi things, but fails to remember the context is taking a shot at Nazis because he doesn't like Nazis.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason we all like playing Wolfenstein.
I mean, at least half of it for everybody is we're killing Nazis.
We're killing
Nazis.
Wolfenstein's
a great game. But if being mean to Nazis is not okay, does that mean Wolfenstein is banned? And does that make Nintendo a bad person for putting Wolfenstein on the Switch?
Probably.
I'm confused. I don't understand. It seems like a lot of things recently in the world, like using Count Dankula's whole deal as a focal point for it. There's a lot of things going in the world where it's like, okay, I'm going to say this one thing and then do the other. It's like, I want this to be a thing, but then I'm going to do this instead to this specific group. Like, no, that's the opposite. That's contradicting yourself.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it to one, you have to do it to everybody. That's why one of my favorite things that I had a teacher in high school that when there was a kid that called him out on being racist, and he's doing it because the kid was black. And the teacher responded with, and he was being pretty satirical with it, I'm not racist. And he always did this dramatic pause thing, got everybody's attention. He knew it got everybody's attention. And he'd finish it with, I hate everyone equally. Which wasn't wrong. He'd take pot shots at everybody regardless of who you were or what you looked like. And that was a good way to look at it, and I tell people that all the time. If I make a joke and they're like, "Why would you say it's racist?" And I use that as the fallback. No, I'm not racist. I make fun of everyone equally.
Like I rag on all new friends because that's how I do.
Yeah, that's how it is. Like, it's not racism. It's racism if when you say shit like that, you actually truly mean it, and you're like, I fucking hate them. Like, fuck this group of people specifically more than all other groups of people. Yeah. Like, that's racism. Like, if you're being a jerk and just be like, fuck everybody for this arbitrary reason, 9 out of 10 times that person's probably just being a dick and doing it facetiously. Like, there aren't actually that many people on this planet that truly hate specific groups of people for no arbitrary reason. They're like, in the grand scheme, it's actually a very, very small percentage of the human race that even thinks like that. Like, seriously. Most people who talk like that are just being dumb and just making jokes, usually. It's usually people trying to be facetious or satirical and are just really bad at it.
Yeah.
And I don't think people realize that at all. I'd like to figure out where and how it became the point of it's not okay to make jokes anymore, or if it's just there was a string of people making jokes that were unintentionally at the expense of certain people, and that made it not okay, or if it's just like suddenly we've just not realized that, like, we've stopped realizing all of a sudden, like for 30 years we've been making these jokes, it's completely okay. Why are you suddenly now telling us it's wrong to make these jokes? Like, you guys were completely okay with it and laughing with us all this time. Why are you suddenly not okay with it?
Yeah.
And I would like to know where and when that started, because to me it doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
Because I mean, you've had people like Dane Cook making jokes for years, and everybody loved his jokes. I remember in high school, people would quote Dane Cook on the dot, like on the spot, would just constantly quote him, no matter how racy the joke ever got.
Yeah.
So I'm curious as to when did the jokes become? When did it suddenly become not okay to make a joke at someone's expense?
Well, and like one of the things I heard about in the movie The Big Sick, apparently Kumail Nanjiani, who is, like, I'm pretty sure he is, or at least he descends from Muslims, is that someone was talking about 9/11. He's like, yeah, we lost 14 good people that day.
Oh, that's pretty fucking shit.
That was a movie that came out last year.
But that's still pretty fucking spicy. I gotta give him props on that. That was good. That was honestly.
Apparently, that's a joke he said. I don't know. That was just from what someone said. So if he did, then yeah, like why isn't he being arrested?
Give that man a high five, first of all. That was solid. I gotta get, like, if you're gonna make a spicy joke, you do it extra spicy.
Extra
spicy.
But
like I fail to understand why that's the case, and I don't know where things suddenly changed.
Yeah. And
I'd like to know where it suddenly became jokes can't be funny anymore. If it makes fun of someone or hints even remotely at their appearance or their belief system, like, we've been making jokes about that for thousands of years. It's the essence of comedy.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, to take that away, are we not to be comedians anymore? Like, that, as someone who wants to one day as aspiring to become a personality who thrives on comedy, yeah, I'm deeply concerned by that. Like, are my jokes not allowed to be funny anymore if they make hints of anything like this? And, like, my other big thing, like, recently is, like, swearing's become, like, I can't even call it swearing because I was never raised to see it as that. So to me, it's foreign to use a term in correct context and it be mean. Like, I understand using the term as an insult would be not okay. But, like, if I say I gotta go take a shit, people are like, that's vulgar. Like, no, I go to take a shit. Now, if I say you're a piece of shit, yes,
you gotta say, I gotta take a poopy.
I gotta take a poopy.
I got to take a poops.
Yeah, like, I don't speak in memes all the time. Like, I do it often, but not all the time.
Yeah.
And it just, it deeply concerns me because it's like, are people not going to find jokes funny soon? Or, like, what's going to be considered funny and what's going to be considered racist or hateful? And, like, where does the line draw? And that actually does terrify me because I don't I don't know.
I
what
think
to
I think a
expect
line
now.
is going to be drawn. I think there are groups of people who are like, this isn't right to do, to take away this kind of right. So it's not. I have hope.
Yeah, because I mean, I have a deep problem with things becoming like, oh, that's not politically correct, or like, um, guys, we're America. We literally destroyed an entire culture of people on the phrase of manifest destiny.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole world looks at us as one giant joke and makes fun of us anyway. But it's all done. We make jokes about ourselves for the same reasons that other places make jokes about us. But it's not meant to ever be taken as, oh, we're like this horrible, horrible people. Like, no, we did shit we may regret or may not regret in the past, depending on how you look at it. It happens, but it's in the past. If you dwell on what happened before, you're never gonna get up to what's gonna come next. Like, yeah, that was a terrible thing we did to the Native Americans at one point. Yes, calling them Indians for all these years was kind of dumb because it's not India and that's just stupid. But at the same time, like, we can move past it and make jokes about it. But it's not like, oh, if we stop talking about it, it goes away. Like, no. Like, that's one of the worst things I've ever heard is if you stop talking about racism, it just goes away. That's not how that works. Like, people can still be racist. They just end up keeping it to themselves. If anything, criticize racism. Like, make jokes about it. Make jokes about people who are racist. That's how you get people. Then people realize, oh, this isn't right. People make jokes at me about this. If anything, criticize it, and then people stop doing it, or at least in the open they stop doing it, and that's about as best as you're ever gonna get with it, really.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the comedian that was like very offensive. I think he's dead, but I think he's
Bo
famous.
Burnham's always done a really good job with having humor that could be taken as horribly offensive, but everyone just thinks it's funny anyway.
Like, comedy is supposed to be, offensive.
The nature of comedy, in a sense, by its definition, is to make a joke at someone's expense at least once in a while. Some comedians make that their main thing. But that's just how comedy works. I mean, people have to remember comedy was developed as a way to speak out against the governments and peoples in power and stuff like that. Like, that was how we did it. Like, look at anything by Shakespeare. If you actually look at it, all the stuff he made is intended to be offensive to certain people. It was a contrast against how the status quo, the people that were in power. That's what he did. That was what comedy was developed for.
Yeah.
Like, people, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand. But maybe I just don't understand it because I don't know people that are like that personally, and maybe that's why. But I've never personally met people that are like that.
I mean, I have an Asian friend who makes fun of him being Asian.
Yeah. Like, I get that. I see it all the time. Like, I like when I see things about people making, like, talking about people making jokes at the expense about, like, how black people do this, and, like, they're like, how does he make that joke? Does he even look black? Like, guys, his mom's black. He's mixed. He's mulatto. Like, that's a thing. It's 2018, guys. We interracial breed. It's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big issue. And I don't know. He hasn't been sentenced to jail. We don't know what he's going to be sentenced to yet.
Yeah.
Preferably,
I mean, I hope it's like just like a fine or something, and that's it.
Could be
And we leave it
a
at
community
that.
service.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if he does jail time for it, it's like, what does that say about free speech? Like, at that point, like, now where do we draw the line of what can be considered hate speech and not? It almost seems like it's starting to make a turn to, like, if I say anything out of line about any one person, if I'm making a joke about it.
Someone said the new Ghostbusters was bad. That is sexist.
That makes me a sexist bitch, and everyone fucking hates me for it. Like, I don't want that. Like, I like, if you actually read about what he says after the whole verdict on it, his biggest fear is people are going to think he's anti-Semitic, and he's not. And that's the worst part. It's like people are going to think he's anti-Semitist now, and it's like, no, like, I'm not anti-Semitic at all. Don't think that. But now
Yeah.
people are going to, and I feel like that's the whole thing being so blown out of proportion has done so much damage to just him as a person now that I don't see that as fair to him.
Yeah.
You know, and to keep continuing to blow it up is just, that's not good. You know, like that's how I see it, at least. I don't know. Maybe I'm also in the wrong, some people, but I mean, that it is what it is.
Yeah.
You can it comes down to the age-old saying, you can please some of the people some of the time, but you can't please all of the people all of the time.
Yeah.
And that's just the essence of the entertainer. That's what it's going to be. You're going to have people that are going to be pissed at you. You have full right as a viewer to not like what I view, what I put out. So stop watching it. That's all it is. Go watch somebody else. You know? So let's get off my back if you don't like my content. All right. You're not my intended audience. But I find it weird that people will go out of their way to crucify content creators that make content that they don't like.
Yeah.
And I can understand if he was actually a Nazi and actually promoting Nazi propaganda and actually calling for people to go gas the Jews and stuff. Like, yes, if he actually was doing that, that would be shitty. Damn right, you better, like, go after him for that. But to, out of context, go after this guy like they did, he didn't do anything. Like, if you watch the whole contextual setup, he's not a Nazi.
Yeah.
So I'm confused. That's the biggest part. He's not a Nazi. So why are they treating him like one?
It's some shitty things are happening in Britain, so.
Yeah, England's in a lot. England's been in a bad spot since that whole Brexit thing a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Like that whole area has just been a clusterfuck since
It's funny
then.
because it was a couple years ago when he got arrested.
Yeah, I feel bad for people living in that part of the world just because it's socially it's in a big fucking clusterfuck mess right now. Like there's just a lot of fucked up shit going on there. People try to say the same about America, like, not really. We have a Bill of Rights that literally can't be stomped down no matter how many people think they can. No matter how many people think they can rewrite that, you can't rewrite that. It's literally set in stone. That's like, that may as well be the 10 fucking commandments. If you're Catholic or Christian. Like, that just exists. It's a thing. I have the right to say whatever the fuck I want. That's why we're here. We'll figure it out. Because I can. Within, you know, the terms and condition guidelines of YouTube. There are certain things I probably shouldn't say. While I can say them, probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
To which is a whole other thing. Their whole trying to make YouTube a family-friendly medium seems bad. But that's a stigma with any place where you have free-form creativity out there. I've noticed and I've found out through algorithms on pretty much every site you can upload content to, if you flag it as 18+, it puts it lower in an algorithmic queue to be viewed content.
Speaking of, this could be a good transition. Did you hear about the rating system that YouTube has? Where like they rate certain videos like for adults, or like this is mature, this is teen, without your knowledge.
I wasn't aware. I've noticed it over time, but wasn't aware that it was something that they actively did like that, to where it was just constantly being done. I didn't notice it at first until I actually went to go show someone at work my YouTube channel and realized, not logged into a Google account, a lot of my videos weren't being shown.
Yeah.
And I was curious, like, that's weird. Why is that? And I went and tried to go to a specific link for my video, and it came up, the content of this video has been blocked. It is not suitable for all ages. And I feel like that kind of really puts a damper on things.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like that if I like suddenly go, oh shit, in a video. Oh well, this video is just not gonna be seen by anybody now, unless you're subscribed to me or have an account that's flagged over 18. Now you won't see this video's content. And I feel like that's kind of unfair to pretty much almost every content creator out there, because for the most part, if you look at the metrics for what YouTube is, the majority of the content viewership on YouTube is millennials who are all well over 18 years old. So I feel like putting in something like that doesn't really help anything.
Yeah.
It hurts the entire medium as a whole more than it helps it.
The thing is, you know, PewDiePie and like other people talked about it, and Nerd City, who is a really good channel. They basically went into very deep research into this and got help from people who did deeper research into it, and like they find out that a picture of PewDiePie is rated mature. A picture of the picture of Susan Wozniak, who is the CEO of YouTube, is also rated mature.
What?
And then they find a picture of terrorists from a certain religion with guns for teens.
What?
Rated for teens.
I don't think this algorithm is working.
Are you telling me a YouTube algorithm isn't working?
I mean, let's be fair. I don't think any of them work. They should probably stop using the YouTube specific.
I mean, the Sky Williams criticized. Yeah, Sky Williams criticized YouTube's like use of trying to like pander to Black people on Black History Month by saying like Roses are red, violets are blue. Subscribe to Black YouTubers.
Honestly,
he criticized it, and his video got demonetized, even though he is black. Because he wants to be recognized for what he did, and not because YouTube said like, oh hey, subscribe to him.
And that's why I agree with him on it. Like, no, you should subscribe to a content creator because they're good, not because of their racial denomination. That's the wrong reason to subscribe to a content creator at all.
Yeah.
Like, you don't subscribe. Like, I wouldn't ask people to subscribe to me just because, oh, I'm a geeky, nerdy gamer. Subscribe to me. Like, no, don't do that. Subscribe to me because you like my content, not because of what I look like or who I am. That promotes segregation, which, guys, we fought a civil war over. A lot of people died. We had a civil rights movement for that. A lot more people died. We don't want that anymore. And I don't think people realize that doing stuff like that really makes things that people fought for not matter, that they fought and died to make that not be a thing in this country, let alone show the world that that's not how the world should be.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I can tell you right now, when seeing stuff like that happen nowadays, I can tell you right now, Martin Luther King Jr. is probably rolling in his fucking grave looking at the world.
He's spinning in it faster than a fucking Beyblade, man.
He's spinning in his grave faster than the goddamn Mass Hadron Collider.
Yeah. He's like a Beyblade, my boy.
Right? Like, I think the best way to look at the world nowadays, the best thing that did it was Boondocks. When they did the episode of Huey, like, daydreaming about, like, what if Martin Luther King Jr., when he was assassinated, wasn't actually assassinated, but was in a 40-year coma and came back and saw the world the way it is now. What would he think of how things are going? And if you know Boondocks, you know it's directed specifically at usually the black community, and it really highlighted a lot of things, not just with the black community, but with the world as a whole. It really kind of showed, like, if he came back and looked at the world now, he'd be like, y'all fucking crazy. Did you guys get nothing out of what I fucking did and, like, got shot for? You know, like, I don't think people realize, like, what people before us did to give us what we have, and a lot of us just kind of spit on that.
Yeah.
And that upsets me more than anything. Not the actual actions of the people, but the fact that they stomp on the legacy of people that came before us.
Exactly.
You know? I think I did my quests out of order.
You fucked up.
I did.
Alright, so we can get past that right now, because so the BAFTA, which is the British Academy Game, or I guess British Academy Film awards, whatever, it has a game award, and it's not like just like, oh, passive, but it's like a literal, like, there are a lot of categories, and Hellblade is actually leading with 9 nominations.
Jeez. I mean, it's well deserved. Even though I haven't played the game yet, I've looked into it, and it's something unique in all of its own that hasn't really been done before.
It's an issue that hasn't really been tackled.
Yeah, it's not something anyone else has touched before. I like how it's done, and it deserves the accolades it's gotten.
Yeah, and Horizon Zero Dawn follows with 8.
Horizon Zero Dawn, I've only heard good things about. So while I can't play it because I don't own the console for it, I've only heard good things. I mean,
I like it because it's beautiful. It has a well done story, and it has just it's combat that even when I'm consider myself very powerful, I still consider Watchers, which are like the basics of basic, to be still like kind of dangerous because they can alert others. Because their ability isn't just to shoot laser balls or to tackle me; it's alerting others, other enemies.
They can yell, "Dude, this guy's crazy! Come help!"
And I think that was the perfect way to have like a first enemy be one that alerts the others because it still makes them a threat in the beginning and like even at the end.
Them, like even once you can one shot them, they're still kind of dangerous.
Yeah. So yeah, let's start with artistic achievement. Nominations for are Cuphead, a game called Gorogoa, which I never heard
of that one.
Yeah, Hellblade.
Okay.
Horizon Zero Dawn, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, and Uncharted.
Those are honestly, if I was on that column of the people who had to pick from that, I would literally go, "Can I take a pass? Don't make me choose."
Well, here's the thing. What artistically, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Legend of Zelda and Uncharted aren't accomplishing much.
They really aren't.
They look beautiful.
But yeah, they look great visually.
They look great,
really
but
not doing anything new.
But when it comes to things like what Cuphead does, which is unique,
Cuphead does
and Hellblade takes mental illness and turns it into something that we, as people who don't have that kind of mental illness, can see.
Right. And understand. Yeah, that's the big part there.
Gorogoa, I mean, looks interesting. I don't know.
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna say hopefully it's either gonna be Cuphead or Hellblade.
Yeah, because I've actually like played Cuphead personally, I would give it to Cuphead myself.
Yeah, I would give it to Hellblade, but I have bias, so.
Yeah, for Cuphead 2, I also look at it as, you have to remember, that's done in the traditional animation sense. That was all hand-drawn, page by page.
Yeah, and that should be recognized. That should definitely be recognized.
That on its own is what should not be forgotten when looking at that.
A video game, a shoot 'em up video game. A video game was drawn.
Not even just a shoot 'em up video, a game that very quickly becomes bullet hell style video game.
Drawn.
Hand drawn, like how they draw the goddamn Looney
The guys,
Tunes
the brothers who started the company, they put mortgages on their house, like I think multiple times, just to get this game done.
Yep.
And it's like you gotta hand it to them.
You gotta give credit to that work.
Those guys are just like
put their entire lives on the line to make this fucking thing. Like financially crippled themselves to make this game.
And I'm pretty sure it paid out.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. I would say they probably came out on top on that.
Yeah. Anyway,
considering how many copies the game have sold.
So it's either gonna be those two games. Anyway, moving on. Audio achievement kind of got some questionable. I mean, I guess they might not be questionable, but the nominees are Call of Duty World War II.
Not Call of Duty 11111.
No, because that hasn't come out yet, man. That's in October or something.
Oh, when we forget how Roman numerals work.
Yeah. Destiny 2.
I haven't played that one.
Ryan, remember this is audio, so Hellblade.
Yeah, but okay, Hellblade got another one.
I would say Hellblade has some good audio. I will say there's one thing I do not like about its audio. Just one tiny thing. When you step on water, it sounds a bit muffled.
Oh, it's a little too low.
That's it. All the other sounds are just so good. Like when you parry a blow, it makes that like that sound that swords make when they're pulled out, makes like a shing, and like lights.
Makes the clang noise.
It's just like, oh god, that's so good.
That I gotta, if it's that crisp and that flow, I gotta really give it. That takes some work to get.
But then there's Horizon Zero Dawn, which is another nominee, and that's a good one because they have to make these noises for every robot machine, and like all these other things like the creatures. No sound in that game I think sounded bad. They all sounded really good.
That, and if each different thing has unique sounds, even if it's just a different looking type of the same creature, like different.
I don't know if it's that. It's been a while since I played it, but it's basically like they have to make the sounds for the mechanical parts and what they do and all this stuff, and and they
That's
try
a
and make
lot
it
of attention to detail. Yeah, that's impressive.
And then, of course, ambiance of like just like being in this kind of world that's like no more, uh, you know, civilization. It's just tribal more. So, okay.
Right.
Then there's Star Wars Battlefront 2, which as much as bad as the game is, I might be able to give it on this one because they probably did put a lot of work into sound design. That's what DICE does well.
Right. If they do one thing good, it's that.
And then Uncharted, which I don't get it. I mean, why not give it to something like Persona 5, which has like, which has sounds for like every part of the menu, very unique sounds
like,
that I love.
In that game too?
Huh?
Aren't there like songs and stuff in that game too?
There was yeah, I showed you some songs. Amazing songs.
There were complete vocal tracks on that. Like, why weren't those getting recognized?
And another thing about Horizon Zero Dawn and Hellblade is that Horizon Zero Dawn, I checked the soundtrack for like the orchestral soundtrack, and I don't remember how long it was, but I think it was either 3 hours long or 5 hours long.
Jeez.
I know. They put a lot of work into that. And then Hellblade does not have a lot of music. But when it does put in the music, it's at the perfect moment, and it's perfectly done, and it makes you feel so good. Like there's a part where you're running down a bridge fighting enemies, and it just has this like powerful Viking going on. It's just yes. And then the last boss fight music is just one of my favorite. I still listen to it today. But yeah, so with Uncharted, I'm not sure what they did.
Maybe they're just Uncharted fanboys, and they're just like, we're gonna put Uncharted in every category because we like Uncharted.
I mean, there's a nomination as like, it shouldn't have gone to Nolan North, but it went to Nolan North. I'm not saying Nolan North is a bad actor. I'm just saying I'm pretty sure there was like a better performance that year. And honestly, I'm sad that the guy who did Geralt never won an award for his performance, because Geralt, he did a really good job as Geralt. He had to sound,
honestly, yeah.
He had to sound uninterested, but still have some emotion in there.
Yeah, like you did. Like, could you imagine having to do the voice for that character? Like, all right, what do you want me to do? I want you to sound
a low, gruffled voice, a lot of lines, by the way, because you're the main character.
Yeah, but and every single word you say has to be holistically uninterested in everything going on, but still show some emotional response to things.
And yeah, so that's just.
I would look at the.
But I will say, like, I haven't played the game that won, which was Her Story. She won. The girl in Her Story won. I don't know if, like, I haven't played that game. I don't know if I really want to. It doesn't seem interesting to me. But if her performance is that good, then I guess maybe. But Witcher 3 was like Game of the Year of 2015. No doubt.
It was pretty important.
Yeah. Anyway, best game. Yeah, it's just the placement of these categories is weird, but whatever.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Origins.
Didn't that come out a really long time ago?
No, it came out in 2017.
Oh, it did? Oh.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Origins. The one that was in Egypt.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a good idea. Why isn't Persona 5 in here?
I mean, again, if we're still gonna look at games that were, I mean, I'll argue. I heard more about Persona 5 than I did or Assassin's Creed Origins.
It's because Persona 5 has a very unique style of gameplay that no one does really, and it mixes it with some amazing visuals and like one of the best UIs I've ever goddamn seen, and amazing music.
Huh.
So, and of course, good story and good characters. And Assassin's Creed Origins, I mean, sure he's Egyptian, but I mean. Anyway, next up is Hellblade. Then Horizon Zero Dawn.
What's this category again?
Best game.
Oh, just best game. Okay.
Yeah. Horizon Zero Dawn, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, and What Remains of Edith Finch.
Well, I have played a good amount, about 2 or 3 hours of Breath of the Wild now, and it's actually pretty solid. I can understand why it's been winning the accolades it has.
Yeah.
I just finished Kirby All Stars. Honestly, it's a great homage to Kirby platformers. Like if you liked Kirby the Crystal Shards from the 64, pick this up. You're gonna love it.
Yeah, I'm sadly not gonna be able to get it on my birthday, a Switch,
right?
Because I have a priority to get like things like a Hat in Time, and
that's pretty important.
And Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartender Action.
Yeah, that's another. That's
What Remains of Edith Finch and Little Nightmares, A Night in the Woods, Attack on Titan 2.
Yeah. It's been a good year.
Good visual novels.
Stuff. Been a good couple of years for indie stuff too. So definitely pick that up.
And I hear What Remains of Edith Finch has an amazing narrative. It's just a really good walking simulator.
Really good, yeah. Yeah.
Well, like someone said it perfectly. It's like it's a video game adaptation of Gone Home.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, that is spicy.
It's pretty on point, honestly. Pretty on point. But yeah, Mario Odyssey, I haven't gotten to play personally.
Hey, I heard good things about it, so.
I've seen gameplay of it, and it's definitely it earned its spot on the potential best game award. So it's definitely earned its spot on there.
Yeah, and then Horizon Zero Dawn, Hellblade speak for themselves.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so I don't know about this one, like, because all of the games in them, except for Assassin's Creed.
Barring Assassin's Creed, it's anyone's game on that one.
I would like to self-insert Persona 5 in place of Origins.
Right, can we just swap out Origins for Persona 5?
Yeah, please. But yeah, all the other games are just like perfect. They're just, well, not exactly perfect, but they are just amazing.
They're so close to perfection, it'd be very difficult to pick just one.
Yeah. Anyway, next up is British game, where it was a game specifically made in England, I guess.
Okay.
So,
what was made specifically in England?
Hellblade.
Okay. What else was made specifically in England?
Monument Valley 2.
What is that?
That's apparently like an iOS game. People really like Monument Valley 1, so I don't know. Reigns Her Majesty, which is a game that's like, it's interesting because you're playing as a king, and every choice is just a dichotomy of like either bad or good, and they're split into cards. One card for one option, other card for another, and that's just it. It's a very simple game, but I guess it's really good.
Oh, okay.
This game is well deserved to be on here. The Sexy Brutale.
I haven't heard of that one.
It's a game where you are trying to keep people from being murdered by traveling in time.
That sounds awesome.
And you have to set up certain, you have to go back and watch what certain characters are doing and watch what other characters are doing to make sure maybe was this the killer? Was this the killer? What'd they kill him with? What can I do to stop this without them seeing me?
I like that. That's cool. I want to check this game out.
It has a very good aesthetic with masks, specifically masquerade masks. And
okay.
I got through the first part and I still found it very interesting, and I want to get through it some more, but it's good. Sniper Elite 4.
Okay.
And then Total War Warhammer 2, which I heard wasn't that good.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's the British game. I'm going for either Sexy Brutale or Hellblade.
Right.
Next up, we got Debut Game, which is, I guess, a company's best debut game, the first game they ever made, and it's really good.
Gears for Breakfast?
Sadly not. Which, I don't know why Hat in Time isn't even in this, just whole ceremony.
Yeah, did everyone miss this game?
It wasn't a fairly well-known game when it came out. Anyway, Cuphead.
Okay.
Which is a good debut game. Gora Gora.
A good debut game? Just a good debut game?
Just good. It's just good. It's okay. I've heard really good things about Hollow Knight.
Yes, Hollow Knight is on my wish list on Steam, actually.
I should probably put that on my list.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. I haven't bought it yet, but it looks fantastic.
Night in the Woods.
That one I have been told does a very good job of what it does. Even Toonami gave Night in the Woods, I believe it was a 7.5 out of 10.
I'll say the story is really near and dear to my heart, especially since I'm going through college right now.
Right.
Because if you guys don't know, the story is about a college dropout who comes back to her hometown, and it's just it goes through the feeling of that, and there's also supernatural elements. It's basically an anthropomorphized, better version of Life is Strange.
Yeah.
And then, okay.
The best way to put it is it's better Life is Strange.
And if you guys don't believe me, I'm pretty sure I forgot the person who made it. I think it was wow. Oh, Shammy. Shammy did a great like review where he reviewed both games in the same video and compared them to each other.
I remember watching that actually.
Really good video.
Yeah, he did a really good job with that. Check that out if you get the
Next
chance.
is the Sexy Pertell.
Right.
And then Slime Rancher.
I gotta give it to Slime Rancher.
Slime Rancher's fucking adorable, man.
It's adorable, and the way it's set up, it's fucking sweet. Like, Slime Rancher's pretty great. When I stumbled across
what the fuck is this, Cuphead? Get the fuck out of here, Slime Rancher.
Yeah, when I saw that on Steam and I stumbled across that one, I had to put that on the wish list.
I was lucky enough to get it for free from my network.
Yeah, if I had the money when I first saw it, I would have bought it right away.
Yeah. So.
So
Slime Rancher. We'll give it to Slime Rancher.
Yeah, Slime Rancher's getting it.
Okay, next up is Evolving Game, which I guess is a game that still keeps up with updates, and this category pisses me off, and I'll tell you once we get through them. First one's Clash Royale. I think that's an iOS game.
Yeah, that sounds like I think that one's.
Next one's Final Fantasy 15.
You mean Final Fantasy Road Trip with my frat bros?
Yeah, crack a cold one with the boys.
Cracking up with some cold ones with the boys back in my Mercedes.
It's a weird choice because like evolving with what? I guess because it does have events. I guess. Okay, now it makes sense. Okay.
It's like a pseudo MMO. It's not quite an MMO, but it's sort of an MMO.
Yeah, sorta.
It's a
I'm wondering why Final Fantasy 14 isn't on there.
Yeah, like Final Fantasy 14 is like
an actual MMO.
Yeah, and it's really proven like it can keep up with a game like World of Warcraft, and like
it had a shitty start from what I remember, and then it was able to gain that back.
But when they put Yoshida on the team, he turned that game around and saved that whole thing.
Yeah. Anyway, next up is Fortnite.
Fortnite absolutely deserves to be on that list.
Yeah, I need to try that sometime.
We need to get on Fortnite. Yeah, I plan on picking it up, but we definitely need to play some Fortnite and PUBG. We need to play both of those. They're both good.
Overwatch.
Yes, I can see Overwatch fitting on that. It's definitely Overwatch. They've done very good with.
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
That's PUBG.
I know. And Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege.
All right. I've heard very good things about that, honestly.
What pisses me off about this one is that an iOS game's on here, but Warframe is not.
Yeah, why is Warframe not on there?
Warframe had the biggest comeback in 2017.
Yeah, it like to the point where I'd never heard of it, and suddenly all my friends were playing it. Like, the fuck is Warframe?
It was to the point where like I played the game when it was back when it was like really early and didn't even have a story really. And I came back to it like in 2017 and just like, this isn't the game I remembered playing. Right. And it's for the better, but yeah, so that kind of just pisses me off. So I'm just gonna say, Overwatch, I guess. Maybe.
I Overwatch. I mean, it's barring the iOS games, it's a tough one to pick one on, because they all do that job really well.
Yeah. Anyway, next up we got Family Game. Just Dance 2018. Sure, whatever, sure.
Yeah, okay.
Lego Worlds.
Alright.
Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
That one has to get it. Luigi fucking dabs in that.
I heard it's really good, actually. But
it actually is really
Monument
really good.
Valley 2. I'm not sure I just called that a family game. I think I probably just called that, just a child-friendly game.
Yeah.
But Snipper Clips.
Okay, Snipper Clips, yeah, I could see that one.
Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, it's got to go to Mario Odyssey.
Probably going to go to Mario Odyssey, but I would say give it to Snipper Clips. I want to say give it to Snipper Clips.
Just because Snipper Clips said give them something. We'll call that the consolation.
Because I heard it's really good.
Oh yeah, it definitely is really cool. I would be surprised to not see.
But I'm wondering why 1-2 Switch isn't on there.
Yeah, why isn't 1-2?
Why isn't 1-2 Switch on there? You get to milk a cow.
I mean, what other video game do you know that you get to milk a cow in?
I fucking despise 1-2 Switch.
But you can milk a cow.
Fuck off. Anyway, game beyond entertainment, which I guess means, game that isn't just meant for entertainment, it's meant to elicit a message.
Please tell me that whatever the fuck game that fucking Kojima's making is on this bracket.
Death Stranding.
Put that shit on here.
That is an ethereal experience, my son.
Yes. It's not a video game. This is an ethereal experience. It's the best way to
The game's already out. You just don't know it.
You just don't understand that this game's actually out.
Okay,
already.
so Bury Me, My Love. I haven't heard of that one. Hellblade.
I haven't either. Okay.
Last Day of June. Life is Strange Before the Storm.
Life is Strange Before the Storm.
Life is Strange Before the Storm. I swear to God, Hellblade better win against that.
Right.
Night in the Woods.
Alright.
And Sea Hero Quest VR. And the picture is you holding a hot dog, and there's a sea creature off in distance that has a very goofy face. And I'm just wondering, what the fuck does this game do? And you're supposed to throw the hot dog.
Is this a Kojima title?
Is this Death Stranding?
I feel like this is a Kojima title.
Yeah, but so Night in the Woods or Hellblade. Anyway, so next we have game design.
Okay.
All right. Assassin's Creed Origins. I might be able to understand that.
Maybe.
But then there's Horizon Zero Dawn, which is another nominee.
Right.
And then there's Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is another nominee.
Right.
And then there's Nier Automata, which is another nominee. And then Super Mario Odyssey and What Remains of Edith Finch. And it's like, how is Origins on here?
Yeah, Origins isn't even in the same fucking category as any of those. Like, that even make
Game
it a
design.
thing.
Yeah,
I
so...
don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. That one's a weird one for me.
Anyway, so I would say... I'm just going to say Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm sure you're going to go with Breath of the Wild. I guess game design.
On game design, from a game design standpoint, I like what they did with the way they could incorporate what they have with just what I've seen with Breath of the Wild. It's done very well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like if you really look at the game all the way around, there's a lot of very subtle things that game does that makes it looks at face value as all right, typical Zelda RPG, but then you don't realize it's really more of a Zelda survival game.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Yeah. And sexy sea creatures with bare chests.
And cross-dressing.
Anyway, where was I? Yeah, I might give it to Nier, because Nier does some really good things, but, I mean, I like Horizon Zero Dawn, very well made. Anyway.
Yeah.
Next one is game innovation.
Game innovation, huh?
Gorogoa.
Still haven't heard of that one.
Hellblade. Which I can see, because they did a lot. What this game did was that it showed, like, companies that aren't exactly indie, but aren't exactly AAA, that they don't need a publisher to make a good game. That's what this did. And they were able to make such amazing looking just characters and cutscenes with the cheapest of technologies. Like they had to innovate. They had to like think outside the box with how they got to it. So, but next up is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
Which what would you say it innovated? What would you say it was innovation?
A lot of what makes it innovative, honestly, I would say is on the back end for that game. And not so much what you see up front with it, but the nuanced things that it does as far as how the game runs is what really I would say is innovative with it. It does a lot of things Zelda games and Nintendo games in general have not done or been able to do before.
Yeah.
And I would say it's less so what you could see from the player's standpoint and more so what you see on the developer side.
Yeah.
Is what's innovative with that one.
So next up is Nier Automata.
I'd say that has done a couple things differently than other things have done before.
It does something.
It just a few things differently than things have done before.
Snipper Clips.
Snipper Clips is an entirely new thing in of itself.
And then What Remains of Edith Finch, which I would say, from what I heard, just innovates what a narrative-based walking simulator does.
Yeah, it changed the game for the whole genre. It was a breath of fresh air on an otherwise dry genre.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I would say for game innovation, I'm gonna give it to Hellblade, but I'm sure Breath of the Wild will probably win. But...
I would say it's really anyone's game on it. I don't think I could pick any one of those titles over the other.
But why isn't Life of Black Tiger on there?
They just don't understand.
They just don't understand good art.
Yeah, it is art because it would be such a runaway. It would make all the other developers probably just quit doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
It would be so brutal a loss that everyone else they just stop.
Yeah.
They would know there's no way I can even compare. How do we make something even remotely close to this?
Yeah, so
it's so perfect. It's so precise.
Innovative game innovation. Next up is mobile game. Bury Me My Love, Golf Clash, Gorogoa, Kami 2, Monument Valley 2, and Stranger Things the game?
Not Fortnite?
That's not a mobile game.
No, actually,
oh?
Fortnite is mobile now.
Well, so is PUBG. But that was before they made this. That was before they did this.
It probably was before they did that, yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I'll give it to Monument Valley 2. Why not?
I don't play mobile games. Pokemon Go. Give it to Pokemon Go again.
Yes.
It's the only mobile game I have installed on my phone. So.
All right. Next up, we got multiplayer.
Okay.
Divinity Original Sin 2, which I've heard a lot of good things about.
Yeah, I've heard nothing bad about that ever.
Yeah, and it's even co-op, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Fortnite.
You can do with that one. Yeah, Fortnite for sure.
Gang Beasts.
Don't know what that is.
It's a silly, like, beat 'em up that basically is mostly physics based. It's very silly, very cute, very funny. You could probably have a lot of fun with it with friends. And I don't know if I would say it should be in here, but it's a good game.
Okay.
PUBG.
Yeah.
Splatoon 2.
Absolutely.
And then Star Trek Bridge Crew, which is a VR game.
Oh.
Where you're like on Star Trek and you're the bridge crew and you're just one of you commands and the other one's so I don't know. I would say give it to Divinity. Cause I don't know why it's not in narrative. I'm pretty sure it's not in narrative.
Yeah.
We haven't even gotten to narrative yet. But what would you say? Fortnite? PUBG? Splatoon?
Bias Splatoon.
Yeah, I could see that.
But I'd probably give it to Fortnite.
Yeah, I could see that. Next up we have music, and this one also pisses me off for a specific reason. First up, Cuphead, which, sure, I saw like videos of like they had a whole orchestra.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
To make sure it's like very old timey. So, and I think that's an impressive thing to do. Next up is Get Even, which I don't know.
Never heard of it.
Hellblade, which while very minimalistic, does a really good job.
Yeah, with what little it has, it did well.
Horizon Zero Dawn, 5 hours of
music. I mean, there's a lot of music there to go off of, so I could see that one for sure.
Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
It does a really good job, honestly. Zelda music's always been good, but that one, that really set a new bar for Zelda. Like, you think that how do you live up to it, but it didn't.
And What Remains of Edith Finch. Now,
okay.
Where the fuck is Nier Automata and Persona 5?
To say nothing of Mario Odyssey as well.
Yeah. Just like, take out Get Even.
Yeah.
Put in any of those 3 games, because I'm sure What Remains of Edith Finch.
Well, no, you know why Get Even got in there?
Why?
Because it got even.
Shut the fuck up. So, yeah, but in that group of people, in that group of games, I would say, I don't know, this is a hard one. Because I appreciate what Cuphead does, but Hellblade does it really well, and Horizon Zero Dawn has a lot of good music, so I'm just going to go ahead and say Cuphead.
Yeah, I'd give it to, of the choices there, I'd give it to Cuphead.
Yeah. Next up is narrative, and I don't know which one will win. One of the choices is weird, though. First of all, Divinity Original Sin 2 is not in here, which I heard is a really good RPG game. But Hellblade's in here, which has a really good narrative. Horizon Zero Dawn has a good narrative. I would say that. Night in the Woods, Tacoma, which
Like a truck?
it's a game made by the same guys who did Gone Home. I have it from Humble Monthly. I'll see if I can give it a try. I don't know. It might be a bit pretentious, but we'll see.
It might be a bit pretentious.
Next up is What Remains of Edith Finch.
Okay. That seems to be a recurring theme here.
And Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus.
I mean, killing Nazis seems to be the narrative of 2017.
Here's the thing about Wolfenstein is I played through it, and I just don't...
I've been told it's good, but the story's fucking horrible, so... I don't know how that fits.
Perfectly is that there's one part where your pregnant wife throws a grenade, gets you out of the way of it, takes off her clothes and starts shooting at them, at the Nazis. And it's like, why'd you even take off your clothes? What's the point? And one of the things that they did wrong was like, they made the father just a huge douchebag, a racist, sexist douchebag. But there is one part when you go back to your home and there's like a flashback where your father gives you a BB gun. It's like those monsters that you think are in the basements. Why don't we just go down there and hunt them? Go on. Here's a BB gun. That's a beautiful moment. But they made him a douchebag.
I thought they made him a douchebag.
Because I thought I can't keep complaining about the monsters in the basement. There are no monsters in the basement. But you know what? Here's a BB gun. Let's go down there and hunt them. And I thought that was just that was a very beautiful scene. Too bad the guy's a douchebag.
Too bad he's a dick.
If they made him more empathetic and stuff, just not as much as douchebag, I might be able to understand this, but still no, it's not that well done. It's not a well done story at all. It's a very fun game.
Yeah, but not story-wise.
Not story-wise. But I would say it's probably going to be What Remains of Edith Finch, but I'm really hoping for Hellblade.
Right.
What would you say?
I forgot the choices.
Hellblade, Horizon Zero Dawn, Night in the Woods, Tacoma, What Remains of Edith Finch, and Wolfenstein.
Probably Edith Finch, honestly. It's the only title on there I recognize as having a good story.
Yeah. Next we got Original Property. I don't know what that means. I guess an original idea, intellectual property. I guess.
Oh, okay.
That's unique. Cuphead.
All right.
Which I can see.
Yeah.
Gorogoa.
Still don't know what that is.
Still don't know what the fuck that is. Horizon Zero Dawn, which I really like the story too because Guerrilla Games were just known for Killzone, just a straight up shooter that was it was kind of like the Halo of Sony.
Yeah, it was their attempt at.
And they're actually really good at it too.
Oh yeah, it did really well.
And things that they make really beautiful games too. They really do push the boundary, and that's what they did with Horizon Zero Dawn. Thing is, Horizon Zero Dawn is one of the it's a huge that game is a huge risk. It was a huge risk because it was a strange idea, and it had a female protagonist, which I guess is like a risk for some people. I don't know, and it was a new property coming out in not in the same time span as Breath of the Wild. So, and it's just they were able to. The game did really well. It got really good reviews and sold a lot. So, and I'd say it could go to them. But then there's Night in the Woods, which I can see.
Right.
PUBG. I guess. Sure. And What Remains of Edith Finch. I'm gonna say Horizon Zero Dawn. What would you say? Probably Cuphead?
I'd have to give it to Cuphead, honestly.
Yeah.
As far as original properties go, it does it the best.
And lastly, we have Performer. Best Performer. And I don't know what to think of this one, because there's just... One thing I really hate is when, two characters from the same game are in it.
Right.
So it's just like giving them more of a chance to win, which is really not cool. Anyway, Abu Bakr Salim as Bayek in Assassin's Creed Origins.
Okay.
Ashley Birch as Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn. Claudia Black as Chloe Fraser in Uncharted Lost Legacy. Laura Bailey as Nadine Ross in Uncharted Lost Legacy. Melina Juergens as Senua in Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. And Valerie Rose Lohman as Edith Finch in What Remains of Edith Finch. And I really hope Melina wins. Because she's... First of all, she's never acted before.
Oh.
And when, doing Hellblade, she just did a... Mwah! Great job. So I hope it's her. But I know you don't have any claim in this because you haven't played any of these games. But
I haven't played any of them, so I couldn't tell. I couldn't put input on this one at all. I'll give it to Hellblade because you like Hellblade.
Yeah. And that's it. So it seems like a good enough award ceremony. Some categories are missing a game, specifically Persona 5.
Specifically, yeah, Persona 5 just seems to be left out for no reason.
Yeah.
No discernible reason.
Not even like I might sure don't put it in music, but best game, why isn't there?
Right?
Why is Assassin's Creed Origins there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it. Well, once they're out, we will say what they are. So, I guess look forward to that. April 12th is when it happens. So Toys R Us.
I was at first sad about the news on that, and then I went to a Toys R Us and remembered I'm not really sad about this.
I felt a bit sad, but I was like, at this age, I really just stopped caring.
Well, my biggest thing with it is, it's as far as Toys R Us is concerned, the one thing they've never done well.
What?
Where are all your goddamn associates? Every time I've walked to a Toys R Us to buy something, like I need to get out of a case or something, it takes me 30 minutes to a half hour, 30 minutes, half hour, 45 minutes to find somebody to get the product out of the case to purchase it. Well, they never have anybody there.
I wonder what's going to happen to Babies R Us.
Who cares?
The babies. The babies will cry.
Because the
babies give a shit. Honestly, I was just like, I forgot about Toys R Us.
I only did because, like I said, I stopped shopping there years ago because their customer service is shit. I'm not surprised they're going out because with how bad it is. Like, when I walk into a Toys R Us, I'm trying to get a game or something, trying to find something, I better know where the fuck it is myself because I'm not going to find any help. They never hire anybody. There's nobody there. They never have anybody on staff.
Yeah.
Whereas I could go to GameStop, walk in there, I'm greeted as I walk in the door, be it a mall front or storefront version of the store.
Like, yeah, sure, GameStop might have like issues with it, but at least it has customer service.
They may be one of the sketchiest operating game stores in the world, but at least their customer service is reasonable.
Yeah. So, I guess good riddance.
Yeah, I can't say I'll miss it. But it's... Yeah. I feel bad for the people who are going to be out of a job.
Yeah, definitely.
That's about it. That's who I feel bad for.
So a game called Ni no Kuni 2 came out.
I've heard of it. I know nothing about it. I've even seen it on the shelf, actually.
The review on Niche Gamer gives it like a 9.5.
Oh.
Where they say, the good is great story with a great cast of characters, wonderfully composed orchestrated soundtrack, great graphics and smooth animation, tons of side quests and things to do to distract you from the plot. Combat never felt like a chore or was boring. The bad was some chapters feel they can be fleshed out more or ended too quickly. Start of kingdom building was slow, and then quite a bit on the easy side.
Oh.
So, I mean, I might get it, but I might not. I don't know. I forgot what other games came out. I think Attack on Titan 2 did, and apparently from what I heard, they made it harder than it used to be, because in the original Attack on Titan game, you could just lock onto their neck and just slice that baby off.
That's it. I've killed Titans.
And if you haven't watched Attack on Titan, you wouldn't know that it's extremely hard to kill a Titan.
Yeah, a lot of people die in that show, and I've always made the joke about it's the show that's a zombie anime that refuses to admit that it's a zombie anime. But that's me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's definitely not easy to kill those sons of bitches.
It's not.
It's quite difficult, actually.
Yes. So, I forgot what other games. I think Far Cry 5 came out. I heard that was actually pretty good.
Sea of Thieves came out.
Oh yeah, how was that?
I haven't got to play it yet, but I've seen a lot of people playing it, and it's pirates that essentially how it works is you have your own ship and you can have your own crew if you join up with a bunch of other people, and it has like servers it sets you on. Now it's not like you have your own server, it's just like NPCs. There's NPCs, but it's a server with other people, and it's always PvP involved. And I think what's also kind of cool is that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there actually is a friendly fire system even. So you can like mutiny your own crew. So if you're playing with your friends and like all of a sudden we're like, all right, we're staging a mutiny, we're taking the ship from Drew.
Honestly, it looked like it could get boring pretty quick.
Apparently, from what I've heard so far at like the start of everything, the missions are pretty repetitive and it's like the same group of missions over and over and over again. So it apparently can be a little repetitive, I've been told, but it did also come out like 6 days ago.
4
days ago.
Yeah, right. But yeah, not really great reviews for it. I see a lot of 6s.
Yeah, out of the gate, I don't think it's going to be great, but I feel like it's got a lot of potential there.
It could have a lot of potential, yeah. If they just, like what were they doing all these years?
I don't know. I know the game also is only like $40 or something about it, so it's not like a full price game or something.
My heart. I see people also search for, in the thing for Sea of Thieves, people also search for Scalebound.
I don't know what that is.
That was a game made by Platinum Games. That was a game made by Platinum Games where like you own a dragon and you're just a dude who's fighting other dragons, and you can do 4-player co-op, and it looked so cool. By Platinum Games, who are great with combat. Canceled.
Oh, they can't. It just got canceled.
Canceled. Yeah.
Oh.
My heart. It was just. It looked like. It probably would have been the only game that made me get an Xbox One. Because it looked really cool.
Yeah. So far, the Xbox hasn't done anything like that. Because now I know games like Oblivion are on the PC.
Crackdown 3.
Buy the Xbox.
Crackdown 3. Has yet to come out.
Crackdown 1, and funny enough, I got Crackdown 1 for free.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I actually liked Crackdown.
Crackdown 1 is great. Crackdown 2, I heard, is okay.
For all that was wrong with Crackdown 1, I did like the game.
It was a good game. It was a fun game. It was just fun.
Yeah, that's all it was.
So
anything past that, you're asking too much.
Crackdown 3 is just taking way too long to come out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know when that's coming. Let's see. I'm gonna look up other March releases. Here are all the video games releasing in March by Forbes. Alright, Forbes. Let's see. Oh yeah, Final Fantasy 15 came out on PC. Warhammer Vermintide 2.
That I've seen a lot of people playing.
I heard it's pretty good.
Warhammer fan? Yeah, I'm not a big Warhammer fan, but it does seem to be really cool.
Detective Pikachu?
Yeah, Detective Pikachu did go live this year, or this month.
Yesterday.
But, yeah, the biggest thing I've seen, though, with that Vermintide game, though, is it's another one of those games that incorporates the Twitch mechanic to it.
Yeah.
It allows your chat to be involved in the game, and I like that games do that. I like that people have been taking that on like the multiplayer styles of things. And making it where the chat it makes the stream more than you're just watching the person. You're interacting with the person, and I like that. And it adds to a layer to it that makes it a little easier for streamers to be involved with their chat.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're playing a game, it's kind of hard while you're playing the game to be also reading chat, and I found myself getting killed more than a few times playing Kirby, watching the chat. Like, I'll stop to read the chat, not realizing I'm over a gap, and then just die.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there like, oh, I'm bad. I look like a fucking idiot now.
Yeah. A Way Out came out. I heard it's actually pretty good.
I don't know what it is.
It's a game where like it can be it's like a co-op game. I'm not sure it's co-op only. But it's a co-op game where like you escape from a prison and you're just trying to, I guess, find out. I guess something bad happened. I guess the two animations yeah, they just escape from a prison, and you have to like find ways. Like, okay, you put this there. Like, they have to work together to
Twitch.
They have to
I'm
work.
trying to figure out what the fuck was playing ads just now. Like an ad just turned on. Like, I don't have the internet open. What the fuck is causing that?
Yeah.
My Twitch was active in the background playing an ad.
All right, so favorable reviews. Yeah, but it's a co-op game where you basically just like you're two guys who are inmates, and you just try to escape from a prison, and you have to do like one person has to do one thing, other the other, to get certain things in preparation to escape.
Oh.
And then I guess there's a story outside of that, but I don't give a shit. And it's co-op. It's co-op, and apparently you don't even need the game to join someone in co-op. As long as one person owns the game, you can play with them.
Huh. That's certainly interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, so I heard it was pretty good. Oliver Campbell says some good things about it. Let's see. Kirby Star Allies, which you said you played.
Yes.
How is it?
It's really good.
Really good?
It's fucking great.
Game of the year?
It's I wouldn't say game of the year.
Best game ever?
Because there's others.
Better than Persona 5? Better than Breath of the
best,
Wild?
It's the best Kirby game so far.
How about a new idea? It's Breath of the Wild but with Kirby.
I feel like Kirby would be in a better situation than Link was.
Let's see. Nothing really. Valkyria Chronicles 4, but I know neither of us really care.
Oh.
Devil May Cry HD Collection.
Isn't that the volleyball game?
Devil May Cry? No. You mean Dead or Alive.
Oh.
Dead or Alive Extreme.
Oh, that's it. Okay. Yeah.
The fun?
That's I don't know. I don't
yeah.
play these games.
So those are all the games that come out. There are more. Obviously, it's not the end of March, but it will soon be. Anyway. So, I don't know if you've ever heard of the new Jurassic Park game coming out.
There's a game? I know there's a movie coming out. I didn't know there was a game for it.
Yeah, there's... Operation Genesis was a game all the way back when... where you could, like... You just run your own Jurassic Park.
Oh.
And apparently it was really good. Not really well known, though. But now, a new game, kind of game like it, announced was called Jurassic World Evolution.
Oh.
Yeah, it's basically a game where you just run your own Jurassic World. And Jeff Goldblum will reprise his role as Dr. Ian Malcolm, and he will be with you the whole game, apparently, according to him.
Oh.
So he will probably be the narrator.
So he'll be the narrator, like in Roller Coaster Tycoon, but in what should have been called Jurassic Park Tycoon.
Yeah. And he's going to be like, Chaos Theory.
Cool. Chaos Theory.
Alright, so one thing that the Nintendo Switch did recently that I kind of appreciate, but still don't appreciate because it's still a bit wonky, is the new update where you can add friends through Facebook or Twitter.
Yeah, they did connect it that way.
But why not just take out the number system?
What do you mean the number system?
We have to put in a number. Like, this is my friend code.
Oh, that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure on that one.
Yeah. That was like the only thing to update that actually seems useful.
Yeah, I feel like there's something they could do to change that on the back end.
It's like, what do you mean by friends on Twitter? You don't have friends on Twitter. You only follow people on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't
get it.
Anyway.
Anyway.
I'm not sure.
Well, I don't know. Sonic Mania Plus. Do we care?
What's different between it and the first Sonic Mania?
I don't know. More stuff?
Oh. I guess that's cool. I mean, if it's got more content, that's all I care about. Don't just make the same game over.
Why not just add it? And apparently the plus part, people who already have Sonic Mania, it's a free update.
Oh, okay. So it's like New Game Plus.
I guess.
That's alright. That's cool.
Yeah, Sonic Mania Adventure Series was announced. I don't know. I guess it's gonna take over for. Is Sonic Boom even done? Is there still more Sonic Boom?
That's the cartoon, right?
Yeah.
I know it's apparently really good. I've only watched it once or twice.
Alright. Alright. UK refuses roguelike dungeon crawling game Omega Labyrinth Z certificate of classification. A game called Omega Labyrinth Z was refused a certificate of classification because it's a fairly sexual game where you gain power, and more power you gain, the bigger your boobs get.
And?
Apparently there are parts where you sexually touch them. I don't know. But, basically the statement that they have says, there is a serious danger that impressionable people, i.e. children and young people viewing the game, would conclude that the sexual activity represented normal sexual behavior. There is a constant theme of sexual innuendo and activity throughout the game that suggests behavior likely to normalize sexual activity towards children. As a means of reward gained by successfully navigating the game, the player has the means to sexually stimulate the female characters by using either a handheld remote device or touchscreen software.
So why would children be playing this game?
Why the fuck would children... Yeah, just give it an M rating.
Yeah, that's why the ESRB was created, guys.
Well, this isn't the ESRB.
Oh.
It's UK. ESRB is American.
Oh, I didn't know that was only an American thing.
Yeah.
Like, I really had no idea that was the thing.
Yeah. So, I just... If children shouldn't be playing this game, then...
Yeah.
And I doubt a child would be interested in the game.
Yeah, maybe the UK should, you know, make a thing like the ESR-fucking-B.
Well, hold on, but this guy posted a video of a Nazi pug, so we gotta arrest him.
Yeah, but that's more important.
That's more important. So I don't know. I like boobs.
I mean, I'm quite fond of them myself.
Yes. So yeah, it's just give them the fucking certificate. I'm pretty sure it got accepted in Australia.
This just rolls back to why Australia is the better form of English, and that the UK is just one giant clusterfuck.
The thing is that Australia's usually pretty strict on it. Or I guess they're just strict on violence shit.
It might just be violent shit, yeah.
Anyway.
Sex is cool as long as it's not violent.
Yeah, of course.
But if it's violent, it better damn well be fucking consensual.
Consensual violence. That's right.
But that's okay. Non-consensual violence is not okay.
There
must always be a safe word.
I'm sorry, I'm looking through pictures that I plan to use as banners.
Oh.
I remember I saw someone's like, this ain't an Australian server. You didn't swear enough. I just found that funny.
You fucking what, mate?
For any of you guys who were looking forward to the new Pillars of Eternity, Pillar 2 Deadfire, it has been delayed a month from 2 months ago, I guess. No, 2 weeks ago. Sorry. So, just give it a week.
Just give it a week. It'll be here.
Game Maker Studio 2 is being supported by the Switch.
Oh, neat.
So you get to have more shitty RPG games on the Switch. Right. Awesome.
Yeah, it'll be just like your Steam account.
Yeah. Wait, what? Anyway, Shadow of the Tomb Raider was announced, which, if I remember correctly, it's gonna take place in Mexico.
I like it. Tell me more.
And I think it just takes me back to an interview with Camilla Luddington, who does Lara Croft in the new games, and she's like, "I'm really tired of shivering in the motion caps. Please, can the next one just be in a warm place?"
I mean, give the lady what she wants.
Yeah. Apparently it's going to be the climactic finale of her origin story.
Ooh.
Which, not her story, not the story that they're doing, just her origin story. So this is just the beginning. So I don't know, I look forward to it.
Yeah, it's a Tomb Raider game. I love me some Tomb Raider games.
Let's see. I have the launch trailer for Kirby Star Allies. Yeah, let's talk about that. No, the game already came out. I don't know why I still have that.
The game's already out.
Yeah.
That we went over that already.
We have some like okay, so Yakuza Kiwami 2 is heading to the west on August 24th, which is basically they remade the second game in the Yakuza series, and they basically just redone all the graphics and all that, and like some gameplay mechanics, so that it matches up with the more recent Yakuza 0.
Oh, okay.
Yakuza Kiwami was actually really good. That was actually my first time I ever played a Yakuza game. So fully played one. So and it was the first game. So.
Oh.
Funimation wants Goku in Super Smash Bros. For Switch.
I'm not gonna say no about that.
But
will Nintendo listen? It's anyone's guess.
Yeah, it's like, hey Nintendo, where's our boy Goku going to join? When's our boy Goku going to join the fight?
I mean, that could mean Goku Smash Amiibo.
I mean, to be honest, I don't really like Funimation. They're kind of.
I have a Goku figure sitting.
I only watch anime on Kiss Anime.
Oh, you're one of those people.
What? What do you mean? What do you mean one of those people? What the fuck is wrong with you? What? What? What do you mean one of those people?
I don't watch on Kiss Anime myself.
Fuck you. I'll kill you.
Fuck you.
So I don't know if you know this game. Have you ever heard of Zone of the Enders?
That just makes me think of Minecraft.
It's a It's an old Hideo Kojima game.
Oh.
With mechs. Oh. And what's cool about its multiplayer is that it's a fight over the camera, because the camera will follow who's ever doing the most damage or something.
Why the fuck would you make this Kojima, you merciless bastard?
But people like it a lot, and like apparently it's a very well done multiplayer because your mech is still in the scene. So you can still see yours. It's just that one of them has control over the camera, and they can't move the camera. It just follows them.
Oh god.
And Zone of the Enders, the second Runner Mars, launches in September 2018. It's not a Kojima game because Kojima's gone from Konami.
Yeah, he's off doing whatever the fuck happens.
Whatever the fuck that is.
Whatever the fuck Death Stranding is. Someone wrote him a blank check and he got here his cool actor friend to do weird things.
And director friend.
Yeah. Neither of those people have any idea what the game's about.
I think they now know what it's about. I think they, like, as Hideo Kojima said, like, he explained to his team what the game was about, and the first time he explained it, they're like, what the fuck is this about?
What do you mean?
But then as he explained it further on, they would start to understand it. It just needed more explanation.
I don't know, it seems kind of sketchy when Guillermo del Toro doesn't even know what the fuck your game is about. Something's wrong.
Maybe that was just at first, but who knows. Anyway,
maybe he figured it out. Yeah.
Atari is back with a console.
Wait, what?
Atari's making a console.
Wait, what?
The Atari VCS gaming console.
Hang on, I feel like I've just time warped back to 1985.
No.
Atari's what?
Atari's make 64-bit. I just remember that one, like, dumb...
The Bit Wars?
Yeah, the Bit Wars. And they had that dumb commercial like, we have more bits, so our games are better!
Like, that's not how that works.
That's not how that works.
You
gotta make a game good. The bits don't make it better.
Yeah, you can't even get as many bits as you claim.
Okay,
like, you physically can't get that.
Let's see, let's look at this.
But still, for those of us in the back, Atari's what?
They're making a new game. I mean, new gaming console. It's I don't know, man. I remember hearing about it like a year ago that they're gonna make one, and it's gonna be able to play like modern games. But like, I don't fucking know, man.
I feel like we should know more about.
While the details are still unfortunately scant, we learned the box will be running some kind of Linux, and it will feature a custom AMD processor. The Atari VCS has a very small footprint as well, leaving us wondering how much horsepower the console has. Atari says it will serve up lots of classic content, but says that it's so much more than a retro box. They further tease this functionality by saying the device is designed for today's living room and will change the way you interact with your TV, just like the original Atari 2600 did over 40 years ago. But the first comment, but will ET be on it?
That's a very, very feasible and that's a relevant comment to make.
And the thing is, I don't think that I'm pretty sure they have to know that this console isn't gonna sell well.
I feel like it'll sell about as well as the old school handheld or old school plug-in on the
as well as a Sega console would these days.
Yeah.
Like we already have the big three.
It's a tough market to get yourself into, that's for sure.
And even then, Microsoft is dwindling.
Yeah. Microsoft's even fun.
But hey, I wish them luck, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, good luck to Atari, honestly. I would honestly be interested to see what it is.
Yeah.
And depending on if the price is right, I might even end up picking it up.
Yeah. So the Sega Genesis Classics Collection is also moving to modern consoles. That's just a small thing I wanted to say.
Oh, that's always cool.
Let's see. I know all of us really wanted to hear about this one because we all really want this. Gal Gun 2 it has a Western release date for April.
Oh, cool.
All of us want Gun Gal 2. Gal Gun 2.
Is that the Sword Art Online thing?
No. It's a game where you shoot endorphins into girls. You shoot you shoot girls with
what?
No, you shoot girls with pheromones. And makes them fall in love with you. It's a dumb game.
If only it was that simple.
Yeah. Anyway, another thing, I recently got to try out the new monster they released. Well, I guess technically the old monster they released for Monster Hunter World, which is Devil Joe. It was okay. I was expecting more of a challenge, but
oh, he's not as dangerous as
I was disappointed. I was very disappointed.
He looks pretty mean in the stuff I've seen, but if he's really not that difficult, that's kind of
like I'm not saying he's difficult, but it's like I was able to beat him with like some guys. I haven't gotten to see him like eat his tail because right after we cut off his tail, we were able to capture him pretty quickly.
Oh.
So all I'm looking forward to right now is him and the Betelgeuse, which is a dragon that can drop bombs from its body.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was looking very much forward to, and I just played it once, beat him, and was like, okay, that's good. I'm kind of disappointed. I'm gonna check Niche Gamer for anything else because, let's see. Oh yeah, Steins Gate. Oh, talking about like visual novel. Steins Gate is gonna be heading to PC. The newest one. Let's see. There's gonna be a let's see. New Detroit Become Human preview introduces all three protagonists. I mean, I don't know. They're all androids, by the way.
Huh. So
I guess I don't know. I don't know how David Cage. I don't know if they're gonna even be able. I'm afraid of what he'll do to Cyberpunk. I don't know.
Doing the spooky things. He's gonna do the spook.
I don't know, man. Who knows? Who fucking knows? With David Cage, like the biggest twist in Indigo Prophecy is that you are a superhero now.
Oh.
And Omicron, you can barely fucking understand what the fuck's going on in that game. Like I said, dude, just watch a video of someone playing that.
Don't play it yourself. Just go watch somebody else do it.
Yeah, don't waste your life. Watch two best friends play it.
They already did that for you.
They did it so that you don't have to.
You have other games you could be making videos on and playing. Just let them have that one.
Yeah. The Tomb Raider movie came out and it's not good.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
I'll guarantee you it's not good because the character doesn't even fucking look like Lara Croft.
She does. I'd say Alicia Vikander does makes a really good Lara Croft in terms of appearance.
Okay, so it's not the appearance because I was kind of
her tits aren't big enough though, and they're not triangle enough though.
Yeah, they're not big in triangle. They should be.
They need to be triangle.
Yeah.
Like, why aren't they a triangle?
No, but I mean, plot-wise, it's terrible. It's terrible.
It's terrible. Like the tits are part of the plot. The plot.
I mean,
Yeah.
Not wrong.
And that seems to be it for what I have. I don't know if you have anything.
No, you kind of touched on just about everything there. I don't really have anything extra to add to anything there.
I mean, I have one thing, but I might just want to save it for when Drew's in here.
Why is that?
So it has
Lighthouse?
No, it has a lot to do with just like a situation I'm going through right now.
Oh.
I guess I can tell it right now. So, for as long as I can remember, I've had ADHD.
Okay.
And I was prescribed medication for it at a fairly young age.
Right.
And over time, I was given more and more medication, like more pills to take every day. And recently, my old pediatrician retired.
Oh.
I got a new one who suggested that I get a psychiatrist because that's best for people with ADHD. And so I did, and I went to a psychiatrist, and apparently the amount of ADHD medication I'm taking, way too much.
I mean, I was gonna say, I was like, if they just keep giving you more and more pills, that means your body's becoming used to the medication, and then they're just dosing it up and dosing it up and dosing it up to where the body still feels
it's like
the
effects.
It's
like oversaturation, and I think it might
it's
be the cause of why I feel so unmotivated at times. It might be why I can get tired. It might be the reason why I can't seem to find a creative outlet.
I can tell you almost certainly that you would start showing the telltale signs of what would normally be designated as clinical depression because of what the medication for ADHD does. Because I was attempted to be diagnosed with it before, and my dad said absolutely not. And because he knew what the medication does and what that stuff does to your body, it essentially is telling the brain, which on ADHD is usually much more active than it normally is. It's telling it to calm down, to the sense of basically imagine like the Undertaker choke slamming you and saying calm down. If you're taking a shitload of this stuff, you may as well be working in like slow motion.
Yeah, well, no, it did help me. It does help me with focus.
Yeah, it'll bring everything in line, but too much of it is just, it brings it so much in focus that you start focusing on why even bother? It's all irrelevant anyway. Everything is futile.
But the thing is, another thing is that, yeah, it might be the reason why I'm feeling so down at times. Like, but another thing it's doing, which is fairly dangerous actually to my body, is that it is increasing my heart rate.
That's really not good for your blood pressure.
And I'm pretty sure it might even be the cause of times where my heart beats really quickly. Yeah, and I feel a whole bunch of pain all over my body, and I have to calm down just to get my heartbeat just to slow down. And it might be because of this, and I'm just wondering, like, what was my old pediatrician thinking?
Yeah, I would honestly, as your friend, I would literally just go, you should probably stop taking it, because I would say
that's what my psychiatrist is recommending. He's recommending we are going to be slowly taking out a like one pill at a time, and eventually getting down to a smaller dose that is more suited towards, an adult.
Yeah, because I mean, just stopping altogether would probably kill you at this point.
Stopping altogether, yeah, it's not a good idea.
It would be like Archer stopping drinking. Like, if he stopped drinking, the cumulative hangover would likely kill him.
I mean, it's not addictive. The medication isn't addictive to me. Sometimes I forget to take it.
Yeah, but with your body being so used to it, you could end up suffering the symptoms, this technical symptoms of withdrawals.
And my psychiatrist even like suggesting on weekends or days where you're not working, just don't take any. And I'm not sure if I should follow that advice, but I might.
Honestly, as someone who struggled with the symptoms of it before, and I've been able to really kind of deal with it, a lot of it is mental, and you can learn to control it through that. And a lot of times medication tends to be a placebo effect.
Yeah.
Like it does something, but it doesn't always do what you think it's doing. And it can really be just as if you want to get better, you will get better with it, and you'll just learn to control it and know what you're doing. You'll be able to recognize when it's happening, and work through that. Because that's how I was taught to deal with it. And instead of taking medication, like there's times I struggle with it. I'll be the first to admit I will walk up and down the stairs 17 times, after putting something in the microwave because I forgot that I put it in the microwave because I got focused on something else and just went up and down the stairs because I knew that there was a reason I was down there but could not for the life of me remember why. Like, I've left pizza rolls in the microwave for half hour, 45 minutes before. And just gone and done 16 other things because I forgot I put them in there.
Well, at least they're not hot anymore.
They're not molten. But, like, I know exactly where people come from with that stuff because I do it, because I know what it is. And just some people have it worse than others. But I know it's absolutely something you can eventually control. It's a mental game, and you just need to... And it can be just as easy as it just takes time.
And the thing is that around the time I got into college, which was when they kind of upped the dosage because it's college, it was about probably around that time where I just stopped really kind of writing.
Right.
And I kind of blamed it on just college. But it might really just be that I'm taking too much medication.
Right. Because, like I said, that's the way that stuff works. They call it a downer because it's what it does. It pulls you back down. Because when you're up at fucking 16 and you want to be at like a 7... you need something to get you from 16 to 7 if you're stuck at 16. And that's what that medication's supposed to do. In high doses, it'll take you from 16 to like a 2. You don't really want to be at a 2. No one wants to be at 2. Take that from someone who suffered with clinical depression for almost a decade. You don't want to be at 2. Being at 2 sucks. Being at 2 all the time is terrible.
I wouldn't say I have depression. I'm a little bit more positive.
See, I absolutely did have depression for quite a while. It sucked. It was
like
terrible.
in our poetry class, and people would like try and say like, "Oh, it's probably just like a positive, like a negative meaning to this poem." I'm like, why not just look at it from a positive side?
Right.
Like, oh, this means like, oh, if you get to this point in your life, you'll never get there. I'm like, or maybe it's just saying, if you keep thinking this way, you will never get to that point in life.
Yeah, that's like I said. That's why I'm glad I have really good friends, because that's where I was at. Is depression's literally where it gets to, you can only see the negative point. You can't see the positive. Like, you want to think about the positive point, but you're just stuck fixated on only the negative part. And getting out of that is a lot harder than it sounds.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad I had good friends around that helped me with that, because I wouldn't have gotten out of it otherwise.
Yeah, so we've taken out one pill for now.
How many are there?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3.
When you
5.
have to stop and count them, that worries me.
5 different ones.
5 different medications?
And keep in mind, this used to be 6.
And
well, not 5, not exactly 5 different. Like, 3 of them were the same kind of like type of medication. Concerta. 3 of them were Concerta.
Oh, it's Concerta. Yeah, dude. One of the main things that causes is lethargy. Depression's a huge one they've recognized as a major side effect of taking that medication.
Well, no. Like, here's the thing. Here's the thing. That was the medication they started me with, and it worked.
In minor doses, yes, it works. But to up the dosage is where you start seeing those.
You want to know how much dosage I was taking? You want to know how much dosage I was taking?
Milligrams wise, yes. I'd
30,
like to know.
36, 54, 18.
Holy shit, dude! No, you're lucky you don't have like an ulcer thing.
Yeah.
Like the side effects for taking Concerta in high doses are almost deadly.
And yeah, like, and then I was like, keep in mind, I took these like at different times of the day.
Yeah. That 18 dose per day should be your actual. That should be like, that's what you have, and that's where it should stop.
Yeah, that along with maybe a little bit of Ritalin, because that's quick acting.
Yeah, if it's really bad that day, a small dose of that can help.
And the cool thing about Ritalin is that you can cut it in 2, so it's not just 20, but 2 10s.
Yeah, you can take a 10 of it and be all right.
Which I'll probably need to start doing. I've never done that before.
You're not gonna start if you take the 10 instead of the 20, and you won't be seeing the fucking Christina Aguilera dogs.
But I think the one pill that I forgot the name of it. It was the one pill that I think probably caused a lot of problems.
Which one's that?
I don't need to get it. Hold on.
I don't remember which one it is.
It's got a weird name.
They all have weird. What the fucking Christ? Why did my Discord just explode? Oh, it's Jeremy. Fuck this shit, I'm out. God damn.
Alright. It's called bupropion.
Is that an Eevee evolution?
But, yeah. But some call it, but what I call it is Wellbutrin.
I missed that.
Wellbutrin.
Oh, that.
And I think that one was the one that caused a lot of problems.
That'll do it.
Taking that has so far kind of almost nearly increased signs that my heart rate increase. It's what's like I took it. I guess I started taking it back in like 2015, and it increased my heart rate increased from there, or maybe even from 2013. Pretty sure it's the reason. I'm pretty sure it's just like I don't. Ever since I've been taking that, I've been having problems.
Yeah, that's. I wasn't that taken off the market at one point? Like, I want to look up that now, because I swear I remember hearing about really, really bad side effects from that.
Wellbutrin.
Here we are.
The thing is, it's very addictive, and they're gonna have to take me off it very slowly.
Oh yeah, Wellbutrin is an antidepressant in the amnitokian class used for major depression and seasonal affective disorder.
Major depression.
Yeah, this is like your suicidal thoughts level depression is what Wellbutrin is normally prescribed for.
And there's also apparently in Wikipedia.
Yeah. No, this is coming from right off the .org site for all pharmaceuticals in the world. But your main and major common side effects are agitation, dry mouth, insomnia, headache, nausea, vomiting, constipation, stomach pain, dizziness, ringing in the ears, vision problems or blurred vision, loss of interest in sex, sore throat, muscle pain, itching or skin rash, increased sweating, increased urination, tremor, changes in appetite, weight loss or gain, joint ache, strange taste in the mouth, diarrhea, and seizures, especially at high doses.
Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah, so this shit's really, like, for what this treats, it's normally prescribed to prevent blood clots.
High blood pressure. It also causes, which has been an issue with me recently.
Considering it's used to prescribe for it's meant for heart and blood pressure medications when your blood pressure is really low, i.e. blood clots. It's also used for treating HIV and AIDS, so you're good on that. You're fine.
Thank God.
There.
I'm good. I'm good to go.
I don't think it's really working on the whole antidepressant side for you. I feel like it's having the opposite effect.
Yeah.
It's apparently also in stuff that's used for insulin for diabetes medication. It's also used they use it to cut street drugs such as speed or cocaine.
Oh, fuck me.
So you're apparently now Dr. Roxo, the rock and roll clown.
Let's see.
Yeah, that one I would definitely make strides to get yourself off of that.
I'm just trying to read, like,
yeah, that shit's not good for you at all. I don't know what the fuck.
Apparently, it has like it has far weaker effects on ADHD.
Yeah.
So like,
like I said,
what was
that's
the
just
point?
Making your life worse. Yeah. I would like to say that I think your former pediatrician was a quack. He may not have known what he was doing.
Yeah.
Which is not good.
Like, the thing is, like, up to that point when I met a psychiatrist, I didn't know that I was taking too much.
Yeah, I give psychiatrists a lot of shit, but they are very useful.
But ADHD psychiatrists
are even more useful around because they probably save your life.
Well, let's say I'm hoping to get some positive effects from getting slowly off of this medication.
I think you'd be alright. Honestly, at such high doses, if you can get it down to that 18 and you're good there, I think you'll be a lot better. You don't need to be taking nearly as much as you are, though.
I don't need to be taking Wellbutrin. I think that's the one I just mostly don't want to be taking.
Yeah, you really shouldn't be taking the Wellbutrin.
And sadly enough, it's also the one that has addiction to it, so I have to take off it very, very slowly.
You have to wean yourself, unless you really want to deal with... Take this from someone who cold turkeyed caffeine. That is not fun.
Ugh.
That is terrible.
Ugh.
Take it from someone who not only cold turkeyed caffeine, but also is dealing with developing sciatic in his shoulders and back.
Jeez.
You want to talk about shitty? I can tell you about shitty.
Jeez.
That was not a fun time. That was terrible. So trust me when I say I know what you deal with, bro. It's bad.
Yeah, so...
Because Drew has, like, ADD or something, right?
Huh?
Drew has like ADD or something,
does
right?
Does he? I never knew about that.
I think he does, honestly. He's mentioned it before, but I don't remember if it's ADHD or ADD, but I believe he has it.
Uh-huh.
But then at the same time, I just wonder if he just really likes taking a shower. Because he calls it ADD showering, and he'll just fuck off and shower, like, mid-conversation.
Wait, what?
And I'm not even kidding. Like, there's been times we've been talking, and he'll disappear and take a shower. Like, I don't know. You gotta talk to him about it. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. But he does some weird things that... I know he's mentioned it before to me. I don't know for sure. I don't remember. I also don't get it a whole lot, so that might be why.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's good enough.
Right.
So, hopefully next weekend we'll have Drew with us. I don't know what kind of news we have by then, but who knows? Maybe we'll have the good stuff.
The good stuff. The spicy ones.
The spicy ones. But, yeah, so you can follow Specs on his channel, which is Spexifier.
Yep. I am the Spexifier.
You are watching this on my channel, so...
I mean, if
you know exactly where to find me.
Yeah, and if you don't know how to follow, it's big, it's red, and it says subscribe. All you gotta do is click that.
All you gotta do is click it. So,
just click it.
See you guys in the next show, or when I next stream. I'm a motherfucker.